Kimmel's set up in the middle of the thoughtful moustache. I genuinely forgot its name then for a second. He's got a map of the city out on the table. He's been poring over it. You've seen him pore over this for a couple of days already. Making notes on there. Any of you who've looked at it probably can't tell what the note means. There all seem to be these weird glyphs that he's writing in. And yeah, I guess he'll look up at those there and he'll... So... If we're going to do this, I need to understand capabilities. We'll start... And I have to look at my phone, whoever's top of the list. So... scrolling. He'll look to Elena first. Well, what is your speciality?
Elena?
Yeah.
Oh. Lena's gonna say I'm a sorcerer, but I read a lot of books. My father is a military, likes military strategies, so I know a lot about them.
All of my characters immediately insight you. I'm sorry.
Everyone rolls insight.
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
Is it true or not? Just we'll leave it there.
It is true.
Okay.
Her father loves military strategy. On paper, she just walked over and handed Kimmel her 4 tactics and ideas that she recommends using and the downfalls to using them. Sorry for wall of text, but she's handed them to you.
Okay, I have to go read the wall of text. Why didn't you take us... In fact, we'll come around to that. We'll go to the next person on the list.
That'd be
Bork.
Buggle Wolf.
I have Bork on my list.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just going by my phone, so...
No worries.
Me.
Bork, I've seen you fight before, but perhaps everyone... not.
I'm Bork. I'm Goliath. I crush things.
That'll work.
Yes.
I'm gonna get this pronunciation horribly wrong, Fallen Gwenadia?
Guadia, or just Gway?
Gway.
Guadia would look up towards Kimmel and bring up the fact that, for being a rather muscular-looking elf, he brings up the fact that he is, at least to some extent, trained in the use of a variety of different kinds of weapons, both ranged and up close and personal, and that he is also a student of the paths of anger management, or the inability to do so.
So like him, points to Vorik.
Yes.
Understood. Good to know. Good to know. And, Sora. Would you like to the group?
Hello, I'm Sora. She waves. I'm a druid. I have magic and healing if you need it.
Interesting. I have a few ideas for druids that I like. He then turns to Marcus, who is there. Ah, Marcus. Nazi.
He's speaking.
I can't hear him.
It's like he's trying to communicate through blinking. Wrong character.
Marcus isn't here. Marcus is just listening. Hi, how's it going?
Are you joining the conversation, Marcus?
I will join the conversation.
Okay, You fought with my sister in the war. I wasn't quite sure what you did, though. I was elsewhere.
Depends on what you need me to be. I'm the druid, and I'm also a fighter.
Okay. Versatile. Interesting. Interesting. And he turns and there's Perrin and Amy and Skywatcher all stood in a line.
Noman.
And Noman.
Okay.
Do you need me to go through all of them?
I guess for the group. Cool.
Perrin goes, I'm a druid. I fought in sieges. I can turn into a dragon or any other beast. Anything but basically undead or constructs.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Amy's like, I'm here so he doesn't kill any of you.
Come on, chuckles.
I specialize in gathering intel. Skywatcher just says he's a hunter. He works at range. But he can generally move through trees and such with little difficulty. And Noman looks up, looks directly at Aang and says, I made her dead. And then she's now alive. But everyone tells me she's not a zombie.
Can I roll insight?
It's the truth.
Okay, it's true, but okay.
Okay. Kimmel turns to Wolf.
Okay, that was a good conversation.
Wolf just looks to Kimmel. He like kind of eyeballs the bow that's around his chest, his sword on his back, and his shield. Then looks to Wolf again and Kimmel and gives a thumbs up.
Man of few words. Admirable.
Okay. Fair enough. And Gangan.
I am
Gan.
an avid studier of nature and alchemy. As well, I am a monk. Thoroughly dedicated to the winds.
Oh, okay. And we scrolling. There are too many rooms. And then he looks to May.
May looks back, kind of looks to Nyx. She can scout. I can blow things up. That's pretty much it.
Fair enough. So, by my count, we have 5 spellcasters. 1, 2, 6 druids and kind of clerics lumped together. And a number of fighters.
Alex would mention that he's also a cleric. Trying to think people not there.
Yeah, I've included them in my count, but
Vale and Goddard and
Naven's down there, and
there's your battle map, by the way. It is up on...
No, Roll20 still loading.
Huge. Which map, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
The better to hunt you with.
Mm-hmm.
Elena actually has pretty good strategies.
Thanks, Dad.
This is as it is now. So.
Until the trees burn down.
Still reading your post.
So, the map's kind of laid out on the table as you all kind of look around. Based on they will most likely siege the gate, because gates are generally the weakest point in any wall. They are expecting them to hit here.
Wait, could you repeat? Where?
You're right in the middle right here.
Oh, okay.
In front of the gate. The gate would be the weakest point.
Makes sense.
Well, I do recall the other day that Yan had a fantastic idea about making it hard for them to move the siege weapons.
Mostly the battering ram.
That is an idea. And he looks to the druids more. Perhaps we can make the siege weapon more inaccessible.
Oh?
In the war they had, frost giants took the time to create pitfalls that were barely indiscernible until you moved over them. It strikes me a siege weapon in a 10-foot hole isn't going to be hitting walls so very much.
Baron nods. Can't speak about Marcus Ang or Sora, but I can move Earth.
That would be most useful. We need to make it... They don't need to be the perfect traps that will draw suspicion to them. But
I can hollow out the Earth beneath, leaving the crust. There'd be no sign at all.
perfect.
How many and where do you want them, Huggles?
I don't know, the map's still loading for me.
That's an amazing ability.
Red.
Because you're on your schedule.
Sorry, I was tired.
Your schedule.
I was really tired.
You're not muted, sorry.
That is a lot of open ground.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The map has now loaded. Kimmel looks up to all of them there. I have somewhat of an idea. I am uncomfortable with fighting them in the open. It bodes us no advantage. Streets at the bottom, in the lower city could be used to funnel them into specific areas where we would have the upper hand.
And then let them inside?
Only where we want them. And hopefully would have mowed a few down before they got here. But if we could control where they breached a wall, we could set them up to funnel them down into smaller numbers to make it easier for those of us who work better closer to do more damage.
Perrin would point out that means the walls would have fallen.
It means a wall would have fallen in one place.
Assuming they're gonna postpone. He's just playing devil's advocate. As I, the DM, am playing devil's advocate. That's assuming they're only taking down one small hole and funneling them in one by one.
This is true.
You leave yourself open to counterattacks or anything else that's out there.
If we're focused on what's inside, we can be able to see what will be coming out.
Also, looking at the map, they can surround the wall. It's not like all along.
Well, I mean, it does go all the way around the city. It's just...
Okay.
I wasn't going to put a city-sized map.
Yeah. But, like, they can get around here.
Yeah.
What I'm getting at.
It makes it more complicated if we can discourage them properly. And make them think that the area of the wall that we want them to attack is their idea. We can't cover a battlefield this big without leaving ourselves open for counterattack on the outside walls. Now, I'm not saying that we won't be fighting on the outside. We'll need to draw them in somehow.
Do we know if they have mages?
We have not seen mages, but we do wise not to discount mages.
If we can convince the professors at the school to help us, I'm sure we could be able to dispel their counterspells if they do show up with mages.
Chronos, that will be up to the Institute, I suppose.
By that logic, you could also see if some of the students could assist with long-range bombardment as people were coming within range of attack of the walls itself.
Perrin,
that is true. I do have Spell Sniper. I can hit from very far.
Perrin would raise his finger again. Just, again, Perrin's basically playing DM advocate here. Just so you guys are aware of the things you're not thinking of. Would raise his hand and say, if we pull from the school, that would mean there is no fallback. There is no teleportation circle. No one gets out. If we fall, everyone dies.
I recommend what Lena wrote in Rule 20 for real quick.
I have a question. It's kind of in character and out of character. But does Cortea have a cav unit, or at least some cav?
Cavalry.
Very small because between the plague and the war.
Okay. Wondering.
You do have NPC archers and soldiers and stuff like that. It's just what the general point is, you're low because of everything that's happened.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, as a basis, they lost half of their guards / military because it's all the same. To the war alone.
Okay. I just wondered if we had a little bit of cav or any at all.
What what Lena recommended was that if we have a ground team hidden, once we weaken them with our rangers at the wall, then we can have a ground team sweep in afterwards behind to finish the job.
That is one of our considered options. We've already scouted ahead a place.
I can also cast very many
Good idea.
spells that affect an entire area. And I am relatively sure Vale knows a few as well, so if we need to clear out an area, just let me know.
We will have many areas to clear out. My concern for keeping people outside the wall at the back is they will have no support and an army to get through to any safety. There
This is
would
true.
be a few, I think, that could do it. And he looks specifically more to Perrin.
I could bring people with or pick them up.
This is true. And he'll go back and he's looking at his notes.
We must not forget the undead. For we have seen variations of these gnolls before.
Rice is here.
This is true. They were distasteful, but not too difficult, if memory serves.
The cleric's head turns. He goes, but simply that means there may be some form of magic at play.
Undead gnolls?
Yes.
Undead?
Number?
When did
Size?
this happen?
What is an undead?
Probably
I will
find out.
explain later.
It is the absence of life and yet still able to move and function. Mostly kill.
Is that a local form of magic? Okay. I will have to study that later on.
Necromancy is not to be trifled with, again.
It would be wise.
But I must know what it is.
Are there many of these undead?
I can, okay, just so you know, Perrin did the math in his head by using a calculator on his computer. He can dig 240 areas. These can be 40 foot on the side, be 20 foot trenches, can shape earth. This is move earth. I don't think Aang has it yet. Tree, what level? Do you have 6 level spells yet?
I don't think she's in here. Let me.
No, she
have a
was
look.
earlier. That's why I was wondering if she's still.
She was. Yeah.
She had a
let
phone
me have a
call.
look. Is she? No, she doesn't.
Okay.
She has 5th level.
Alright, so she's not quite there yet. Okay. So we're doing trenches. Perrin's your best bet. For now, having Marcus and Aang do any other druidic abilities. I mean, if it's less than a 5th level, he can assist with them. But that's also 8 hours of his day each day.
Yeah. Can you move Earth yeah? She can move it down and up, or like just pretty much anywhere he wants.
Yeah, I can shape the earth.
Okay.
Just
that's
not
pretty
through
cool.
solid rock. I don't believe. It's like clay,
okay.
sand, dirt.
No giant rock walls. Sad face.
I mean, I can move it. Literally could move it, shape
Well,
it behind, under it, and push it out.
I do recall in a book that I've read that one made a moat around the defended area and placed wooden spikes inside, which would make it very difficult for them to approach the wall.
The other point we have to consider is I'm not sure when they'll be here. By my
So
count.
far, Nyx has had no sign of them, so we may have some time yet. I'm not sure.
At this point,
So that concerns
the
me
door
more.
swings open.
No.
The
What's up?
you see a what looks like another kind of merchant who says their caravan was hit on the road.
Whereabouts?
It says it's quite a few days away. They would tell you that you have until Saturday. Saturday will be when the siege takes place. The caravan in question was the one with Bob and Winter.
Oh,
Bob
no.
was found dead. There is no sign of Winter.
Oh no.
Poor Bob.
That's not good.
Oh, they're on their way.
Oh, shame.
Why must the winds always be so tainted?
Poor Bob.
Kimmel writes a quick note and passes it to Naven.
Winter got away.
Who would read it?
I'll DM you.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, Sev, because Perrin hasn't sat down with Kimmel yet. You don't know what this says.
Doesn't.
No, that's messaging Sev. I'll do that. See, this disturbs me even more. A straight march would have had them here today. But yet they're making detours.
Well, based on you think they sent a group away to try and siege.
Does that mean they have battalions? And measurements for the groups?
Kimmel, intelligence check. Lena, intelligence check. Naben, intelligence check. I'm trying to think of people who have seen or have read war.
Seen or what?
Again?
Marcus, actually, give me an intelligence check. Basically, in your upbringing, you would have learned the basis of sieging if someone would to siege somewhere.
20.
Mm-hmm. So, Lena and Marcus as well.
There's a natural 20.
Just looks like
I would probably. I mean, my intelligence is pretty bad, so.
Yeah, but this is big scale war. This isn't like,
raids.
Yeah, raiding.
Okay, okay.
What if you lived in the siege?
This is something different. This is a little bit different type of thing. So before Marcus rolls, I can at least give it. Kimmel and Lena, there was no reason for them to raid the temple. Not a lot of stocks. They are primarily meat eaters. They wouldn't have got much by really besieging the temple. The reason it's taking them so long is they're cutting off your reinforcements. They have done something to most likely slow down anyone from door to door. Any reinforcements there, they probably are setting up to hit Everwind as well. If nothing else, not trying to take the cities, but trying to cut off reinforcements. 20,000 people, roughly.
Yeah, it'd be a little over 20,000, 22, I think.
Roughly, as I said, about 20.
Yeah, I know. Okay. I mean, originally Kimmel was looking at the map for a secret entrance in and out of, because there's no reason to suspect that as soon as they rock up, they'll open fire.
Well, that's about the size of a pit he can dig. 45
where? Oh, that's
put
huge.
about 240 of those down.
Damn.
That's nice.
That's
So
also
we really could make ourselves a nice trench.
You could.
That's
Let's see
intriguing.
what
Just
monk
remember
does.
it goes both ways.
Yeah, our walls will still take a beating.
Well, if he does all that, could he not turn into a dragon?
This would be digging through Friday night.
Oh. He'd be like all trained out.
Yeah, he'd be sleeping on Friday. So that's basically the side.
240 of those. We probably don't need that many.
However, you have to remember, if you're gonna do them here, you'd put them on the other ends of the wall too. You would dig them.
Sorry, you cut out for me. It's
You would
fine.
need to cover the entire, all of them. If they came here
Yeah.
and they found one, they're just gonna reposition. You'd need to put them around.
Oh yeah.
So you think of this as 1/4.
How much alchem is
Okay.
that we can get?
Think of this as 1/4 of your defense, right? So you can put 60 on this map and even it out.
Okay, that makes more sense. We know what stock we have as people.
I mean, there's some. It depends on what you're trying to do with it, whether there's enough.
Would we have access to peat?
You said heat?
Peat. P-E-A-T.
Oh, like moss?
As in, like, flammable moss is essentially what I'm going for here.
Oh, I could light stuff on fire too. At will.
The druids could druid craft it. I believe Marcus and Aang both have druid craft.
Sora does too.
Sora, yeah. Sorry, I keep forgetting you have a druid. I'm sorry, Firefly.
That's okay.
It's so unusual.
I forget to.
Where we can't make holes, we can literally burn the ground they walk on.
I like this.
Neighbour looks up. We can make kill zones. Force them to walk certain ways to get around the holes towards the wall most effectively with, say, a battering ram. Force it into a kill zone.
Agreed.
A maze of pit and spikes.
Sure, Saz. You'll just have to remember where they are this time.
That was one time.
At band camp.
Let's not talk about band camp.
Sora, what's your highest level spell?
Whose? Sorry?
Sora's.
Firefly.
Sorry, what? I got disconnected.
What's the highest level spell slot you have?
3rd.
Aang has 5th, right?
Aang has 5th, yes.
It will be a bit
Got it.
risky if you're going to raise the earth, but if there's agates within town and can be funded, I can spend my second 8 hours a day awakening 5 trees, and Aang could awaken 10 a day, or 10 in total.
Tree army.
I could manipulate water.
Sorry, you said awaken trees.
I have my. She holds up.
Wait,
her
they were
staff. My
asleep?
staff can do that.
Yeah, oh yeah, you can.
Kimmel needs a moment to work this through in his head.
We could pretty much make the forest alive.
Yeah, actually,
Until it's burnt.
Perrin goes, yes, you've
Oh,
been
God,
counting a Trent.
I don't think he has. He's never been to.
Yes, he's been to the Nost.
He's been in the Nos, but he's never been in the back garden.
Has he
I
been to
did-
Crystal of Boggle's house?
No. It would never have come up for Kimmel. Okay. His mother could do that though, so I'm gonna... Okay. That is a good plan. Would they mind us hiding in their trees, with them, do you think?
For 30 days, they'll be our allies regardless. After the initial 30 days, depends on how they're treated. Whether they remain your allies or whether they decide to move or not. The difference being is we can explain to them that how many people here speak Sylvan?
Sora raises her hand.
Kimmel does.
Guadia raises a hand.
We can explain to them that in order to make these siege weapons, these forests will be cut and destroyed. We can obviously take them and when they're done and lead the Trents to the deeper into the forest where they can create their own little grove and be away from Cortea and any potential issues.
I don't see that the Cortea will have a problem with that.
It depends on our resources.
I encourage it.
I have another question.
Yes, Mark.
So, we can either awaken the trees as Trents, and they might fight for us.
They will.
They will fight for us, or we
They'll
can
follow whoever awakened them's command for 30 days.
Okay, or we can cut down all the trees and make siege weapons.
The enemies will make siege weapons with the trees.
Oh, okay.
I doubt we have time, although I'm sure someone here has the expertise to make siege weaponry.
Simple ones like boulders and stuff, if you can bring them up to the walls and just toss them over, the rocks will still cause damage to them, and it's not, you don't have to make it. We would just have to have boulders large enough for that. We're right by a lake too, so we should be able to find things at the bottom, and that should help. Or if not, sandbags would work as well, just as much. The fall damage would help.
I have another question.
I can manipulate water.
But that's once they're upon the walls.
How far in a Trent
We'd have to bring them up the wall is what we would have to do. Bags of sand and then drop them down. It's like really improvised.
How far could a Trent throw a boulder?
Yes.
I don't know. I could look. I will.
Perrin should carry them all up.
Perrin's going to be very busy for us.
I just not need catapults. We can use the Trents.
Because we don't have time to build siege weapons. I don't have proficiency in them either, but improvised weapons would help with
180 feet.
Okay.
Trent bowling.
There's also something that can happen with Trents.
Oh no.
Fire?
No, well, yes, they are very vulnerable to fire, but they can also awaken other trees.
Oh god.
Oh, no.
They're also sorry.
They can also awaken other trees.
The day of the battle. So for every Trent you have awakened, you have 2.
Okay.
The day of the battle.
Got a Trent
And
army.
we probably don't want to
That's
use
good.
fire then, for sure, since we're using trees.
Well, these are all the different options on the table. I don't think anything has been done yet because no orders have been given. But these are all the different options. So, for instance, I'm going to do this.
Is there a communication setup in place for us so that we know if the situation changes?
Well,
Who are your commanders, Kimmel?
Well, this is the other thing. I can't command everyone. My skill in battle is being anywhere I need to be. And moving quickly and to where I'm needed. That is not cohesive with giving out orders to different groups in different parts of the battlefield that I can't even see.
We have another mode of communication.
I would suggest, here's what I would suggest. If you do not have a line of commanders yet, set some up, and then that way it's almost like a leader of
I
a
had
small
thought of
party group.
that.
Right.
I had thought of that.
We have a communication system, naturally.
We do.
As long as you spread your druids about. Each of us can skyrate.
I'll be honest.
We can write in Druidic, and as long as you have someone in Druidic, or we can teach, the few symbols we would use to your commanders or scout, whoever you are putting on that detail, and we can write it as big in the clouds as you'd like. It will be able to be seen from quite a distance.
Come on, Odds. I'd intended to keep the spellcasters within the walls of the city, so they have clear view as to what's coming.
By the way, that's a trend.
Okay. My first choice would be Vale. I know her personally, I've fought with her before. Looks to more than magic casters. I presume there are no objections.
Feel to be though. No.
I would follow. Yeah.
The druids and the clerics, I think, will keep you divided. I apologize for lumping you both together, but I'll look over to Marcus and Aang. Aang stays on the walls. I don't want any arguments. And I should not hit her. Do a shoot back.
Ah, she's typing in Roll20.
She did. My understanding is you have spells that would be useful, and you can also help heal if required. I'd also like to keep you out of injury's way as much as possible. Perrin, to be honest, I presume you're going to be in the thick of it.
I can be in the thick of it, or I can manipulate the weather of battle. It's your choice.
I'll be honest, you're incredibly versatile from what I've witnessed, so
I can set our weather conditions.
I would.
Oh yeah.
I would presume you would be much in a position like me. Move around the battlefield as much as possible, go where needed. Naven Skywalker, Wolf, Amy. I think you'll do better from range. We may as well keep you on the walls as well. Keep you out of fire as much as possible. Looks around for response.
My characters were done.
Yeah.
Perrin would bring up that basically 8th level spell. He's can support you in one way. He can either, whatever party's going out, can turn you all into animals, so that you can basically hide, and then once you drop to 0 points in animal form, you turn into your normal self with all your gear. Would allow you to get out there unseen. You go as birds and then just hit each other, peck each other each once, and take a point of damage. He can literally make the weather whatever you want it to be, including wind at hurricane force winds pushing away from the city, which would make the sieging harder. He can earthquake.
Damn.
Causing fissures just completely around. Basically, he can center it where the siege weapons are and take out one end of the siege weapons. Or he can, turn the actual lake against them and make it tsunami.
That's impressive. I wonder whether making the sieging more difficult would be our best option we have. And he'll look to Skywalker. Skywalker helped us find a fairly decent hiding spot.
It is actually represented by this right here on the map.
I was about to ask you where that was.
Yeah, I was like, huh, what is it?
Perrin would note he can also dig you a hiding spot.
Did I miss it?
Yeah. Yes, that would be useful.
I'm kind of curious about this, but we'll look to either any of the druids really and hold up the Deager seed.
We definitely don't want to plant those before.
Oh, then okay.
Because they could potentially get destroyed.
Seeing that, Nathan would look around and go, actually, those bomb arrows were pretty effective.
However, you only had one.
Bomber.
Yeah.
And you shot it.
Yeah.
Was that what that drawing was you gave me?
It was a requisition form. Hey, it was in a nice crayon.
See, this is why I get you, Drew. Okay. He's smiling as he says it, though.
The guard captain will mention, they have laborers and lumber. Barricades if you want to put them up, stuff like that.
For sure.
If you are drawing on the map, I can't see.
I'm looking for icons for them. Because they would have hit points and they could be destroyed.
Yeah.
Is it assumed that we know which direction they're coming from, or just all around?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to surround the city. Part of the siege is surrounding it to their most likely assault point is from the north, where there's the gate here. There's only really one kind of gate for Cortea to the outer plains. Cortea is built like a square, okay, with one gate basically going to the plains, and then each, like the middle district is the middle tier of the square, the upper being one inside.
Okay.
Vale will organize our spellcasters as to where they should be on the wall. We'll intersperse them with the more ranged people. I suggest
Where do I stand?
If you'll be with us, I think, yeah.
Okay. That means more key points I could use for punching. Okay.
We can either hide and assault them once they have started their assault on the thing. We'll only get so many. My concern is on how we place the traps. That's going to be the key point. We need to be able to move our fighters back into the city if we require to. And as it stands, we'll be going through a whole host of enemy first to do it.
Well, even though I can cast area of effect attacks, if I'm up on the wall, I can't cast them very far.
But in the middle of a horde, you're not going to last very long.
That is also true. I would be able to take out masses if we can just get them grouped up into about a 20-foot circle.
That'll be considered when we work on the traps. But look to Naven. I guess we know what we're doing tomorrow. Is anyone joining us?
Joining
Fair enough. I believe you'll be with us.
Training.
Joining in what? Training? I would love to
No.
train.
Oh.
No,
What are we
we're
doing?
not training. We
Out of
need to
character, what
consider
are we
trap
doing?
placement.
Ah, yes.
A Baron needs to know, like,
Sir Camel.
yeah, otherwise you're losing
Well, we can start.
large. I'm just saying that was
Yeah.
if it starts tonight. I mean, this would be one barricade. Right here it goes.
Sir Camel, how
Just
about this?
simple logs sharpened on each end. Placed down.
Sir Connell, if we had a map of this area and we girded it off, we may be able to do so more simply.
More simply than.
If we just went out there, we can plan where we're going to put the things first instead of just going out there and just standing in places where we want to put the traps.
Kimmel looks to his map, realizes it's in code and they can't see that that's what he's been doing, and looks back up. Yes, we can start today, but sometimes it's better to walk the ground to feel.
This is true.
To see from your enemy's point of view as to what they would do.
This is true. I honestly think that the siege weapons should be our first priority in defense. Those boulders took out Sora in one shot.
Yes.
So we need to get those out of the way as soon as we can.
Generally, siege weapons are not that accurate. They're not designed to target individuals.
Even so, they're massive danger. They can do massive damage to the walls, to our forces. We need
Yes,
to
and
get
so
them
is a
out of the
horde
way.
of gnolls, should they encompass us.
Mm-hmm.
If we have no gnolls,
We have to
we
consider
can have
all
no one
things.
operating it.
Noman leans on the table and goes, the only way to stop them from using siege engines is the second that they get at your on the edge of your view and encircle the city, is to rush them. You build siege weapons on site. You don't transport them over long distances. So unless he counts, looks to Kimmel, 14 of us plan on taking down an army in open field combat. The siege engines will be in play.
Exactly.
so we need to get them out of play as soon as we can.
John looks to Perrin. Would there be a way that they could mass when you're moving and setting off the pit traps?
They'll be pre-dug before.
Oh, I have
Oh, no, I
a way of
realize
doing that. I know a way. If we have a pillar keeping the earth up, I could move up to 5 feet of dirt or earth.
It will come down collapsing on you.
Oh, I have to see. Okay.
Could we give it a little... so it didn't collapse maybe straight away, and in a larger single area? He's basically asking if they could drive maybe 1 or 2 of the siege engines over it, but once it like hit a critical mass, it just fell out.
It would be touch and go. I mean, I don't know the weight, but it would be touch and go, but yes. Compared to ground troops, compared to siege engines, I could leave more.
Would it be
Because if their siege engine is 40 feet down...
yeah, more or less telling you
trouble
out
with
of
it.
character-wise, it's gonna be him making nature rolls to try and guess how much weight is gonna be able to be held, and...
Yeah.
Well, I also had a thought. Perhaps when you do the trenches, you can leave a bit of... you don't leave the earth on the bottom flat. Instead, you spike them up and just end them right then and there.
With dirt. I'm going to make dirt spikes.
Still could work if it gives that much impact. They fold
Marcus
out quick enough.
tables.
It would be better if I had wood and created spikes.
That's true. That is true.
I'm pretty sure that we could rustle up some people to make spikes for you, Perrin. And we could play from there.
He kind of motions that, like, he can do it if you guys want it. It's going to reduce the amount that he can do.
God,
yeah. I'd rather you did more trenches than we bothered. Because if they're 40 foot down, they're not getting
He
those
can make
trebuchets
them up to
back out
40
there.
feet down.
God raised his hand and said, I can shape stone, provided raw materials of certain size. If stone spikes would be preferable.
He nods
Stone
and
spikes don't burn.
Perrin looks to him. How do you feel about enclosed spaces and being under the ground for 8 hours at a time?
I'm a cleric of the twins.
No, he
Digging
doesn't
graves
know.
as a
No.
pastime.
It's a little bit different than digging graves. You're going to be like 60 feet under the ground at all times. He's
He shrugs.
hollowing out like large portions.
Goddard would shrug and goes. He just simply casts a light on like his holy symbol.
Perrin chuckles. Well, I guess me and the spooky cleric are under the ground.
Kimmel leans over to Perrin, just make sure he has, and points to the whiskey behind the bar. I've heard tales of him sober.
Perrin nods. So, I mean, I need to know generally where you want these started, and I can show you what he can build.
Right.
Because there also has to be trenches that he has to dig in between them. So he's gonna have to start based on this hole here. Otherwise there's gonna be a secondary entrance or exit. So he's starting here. Where do you want the first one? I'll let you just go the draw.
I'm just trying to work that out. Draw shape.
If we make these pits, couldn't we just have all the archers, just after they all collapse, just shoot into the pits?
Good attempt.
Pending, yeah. Have them
How
fall
wide
in.
will the pits be? I know how deep
That
it is.
size. They're
I
40 by
can't
40.
see the map.
40 by 40.
Mm.
Sorry, they're 40 feet across, 40 feet wide, 40 feet down. Well, it'll be like 50 something because you'll leave a layer of topsoil.
If you like double them, they can get bigger. You just have
I
to
could literally dig one giant pit.
Yeah.
All the way across the map.
Gods, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I feel like
The
no,
problem,
but that wouldn't be good for us.
The problem being
I know,
is
I
you
was
have now
joking.
just secluded yourself outside of the water.
Yeah.
That's true.
And then, let alone, go ahead, Marcus.
I was going to say the peat moss that Kimmel mentioned earlier. We could also put those at the bottom and light them on fire.
Yeah,
Perrin
that's
looks
exactly
to
Kimmel's plan.
Marcus. Perrin looks to Marcus and then looks to Goddard. I don't think we need the spikes anymore.
Fire? I can do fire.
No. We have alchemist fire, right, Kimmel?
And plenty of oil.
I can just shape it into the roof. And when it hits the alchemist, as long as we have enough alchemist fire and enough pit moss, it will collapse in and light the pits on fire.
Oh shit, that's good.
That is
kind of cool.
Genius plan.
That will work.
That was such a great idea. Yes, that was such a great idea by Marcus. I'm like...
Wolf's gonna go up to Perrin, and like when he says that, he's gonna pull out a few arrows and then shows it to him.
He looks at the arrows.
What is it, Wolf?
How many arrows do we have, though, is what we also want to know, because we don't want to run out of arrows mid-battle.
You shouldn't run an arrow. In city, full armory, you're defending your home city, there'll be buckets of arrows.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
sounds good.
Oh, this is also good.
As long as you're not being besieged for days and days in constant fighting, you'll be fine.
Basically, what I posted 7.
Oh yeah, to shoot the arrows in.
Mm-hmm.
Arrows and alchemist fire.
Yeah, it could work.
Flame arrows.
The fact of the matter is just if we miss.
Do we have any chickens available for the front line?
Chickens?
Kimmel looks to Amy and smirks.
She just nods. Thank you, Peppers. You just
What?
won Amy dinner.
I mean, it worked in one shot.
I'm just saying, no. You won Amy dinner. Thank you.
What was my other question? Kimmel's going to turn to Goddard. If you're no longer needed to do that, perhaps we can find a way to shape stone to reinforce the outer walls. It'll be crude, I understand, but...
The cleric's hood tilts to one side if he's considering the possibility. He would state, generally the spell is limited to something of 5 foot thickness. And even then its applications are severely hampered by the size of the stone working with. It would take me... He does some maths quickly in his head. A lot of castings to achieve any marginal results.
I'm not talking about actually affecting the walls themselves. Cortea has built sturdy walls in the past, I'm sure. I'm more thinking of the adding of struts at the back to just add a little reinforcement.
He tilts his head. It is... I would have to attempt it and see a design before I could truly understand.
Did you realize that anything you do to stone shape the walls would potentially weaken their strength? It's
Then
more
he would,
often than not.
he would shake his head and says, no, leave the stone in its natural form.
However, based
Fair
on
enough.
what has been discussed overall, with the rock being and there being rocks, you could secure on one end, the barricades, into stone, making them immovable.
The barricades, however, could be anchored into the stone of either the wall or the cobble of the streets.
Both is good?
Yes, that would work.
Well, I did forget to mention that I can cast a ray of energy from 240 feet away. So, if we needed to take out something that was farther, I might be able to do that.
I am very sure there will be things at range as they march upon the city.
I meant specific targets, but understood.
It is doubtful we will see their specific leaders until near the end.
I could have Nick scout ahead, get a look on their numbers.
How far can she scout? Like, Kimmel's genuinely interested at this comment, by the way.
Well, she can fly however far she can fly, honestly. She can come back and report to me what she has seen.
What's her wisdom? What's an owl's wisdom?
Checking. The wisdom is
and
a 12.
intelligence. And intelligence?
The intelligence is unfortunately a 2. Oh, the
She's
wisdom is a 12,
gonna have trouble remembering long flights. I'm just giving you that. There'll be
Well,
intelligence checks involved.
This is true.
The other thing of note that people have fought in war before, and you're living in a world of familiars, magic, druids, all this. Something that seems to be circling is going to get shot down by an arrow.
Yeah.
This is true.
That's what Kimmel would
Honestly,
do.
it would be more of a flyby. Just...
Yeah, that doesn't mean they're not going to shoot it.
Well...
They don't know if it's a scout, they don't know if it's a messenger.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't know if it's just a wild animal.
Here's the thing: during World War II, they used to use pigeons to carry messages. Anytime they saw a bird in the air, they would take a shot at it.
Yep.
Wild animal or not.
And a lot of times in a open battle zone, based off of actual military, you don't see a lot of wild animals with conflict.
Nope.
The animals feel that something's about to go wrong, and they get out.
Yep.
They get out.
That's why one of the reasons when I was in Iraq, they kept saying that if the road has activity of people and animals, and all of a sudden it's clear and empty, you don't want to be there.
Nope. Something's about to happen.
Got it. Okay, I was just saying that.
No, this is stuff that out of character you would know and have learned.
I see.
And also, Starry, insofar as summon familiar, you would have the 100-foot range for your bird to be able to go out. You would have your normal vision off of the bird, and every round you would be able to see through her eyes.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is...
So she wouldn't have to report back.
For the 100 feet.
Yeah.
The 100 feet is pretty much in
all of our range.
It's completely
unobscured.
Yeah.
Well, as well, she can actually see in the dark, so perhaps during the night. Can gnolls see at night? I don't know this.
I don't think any of us know this because none of us had the chance.
Owls can. Owls have dark vision.
Yes, owls can. Can gnolls?
Giant gnolls?
They have dog heads. I imagine
You don't know? You've encountered them during the day. I believe in every encounter so far.
Would it be racist to
Someone
assume
could give me you could give me nature checks.
Okay. Oh, alright. Nature's not my specialty.
They're gnolls. They're not exactly ICR.
Wait, anyone can or just her?
Anyone. You guys are encountered. Oh, Aang, dear. Is really... you mean to ride for you?
Please. What did you not want it?
No.
She not ate it.
The DC is 11. And like 3 people passed. Aang not being one of them.
Or tree.
Hugs tree.
Yep.
Hugs tree.
Also hugs tree.
I'm rolling just for Marcus. Here, I won't need to roll repairing because you guys passed.
I just want to see. I just want to try this.
Marcus on a 21. So.
Marcus looks at Aang. Baby.
Wait.
That's Fury.
Got out of waves within that 20.
So Vorik, Marcus, Naven, Goddard, Kimmel would all know that gnolls have dark vision.
Yes, they can.
I rolled an 11.
Well, that option's out.
Goddard, you know they'd see as well as orcs or elves.
Interesting.
However, Vale would still have the best dark vision on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that being seen, if they didn't have dark vision, based on everything, it would be more along the lines of they would just start lighting things on fire and flinging them towards you to see you better.
Yeah.
Because that's how siege works.
Ironically enough, that's our plan for them.
Yep.
When in doubt, fire out.
They do have a commander.
Do we know who that is? No.
Goddard has the name in his notes, probably.
God.
Himmel knows the name, but I don't know if I. Let me see if I wrote it on his sheet. I actually might not have.
But sure. He'll probably be recognizable.
Unless it's died once, don't tell, or explosive should be kept
As Lena
secret.
says that, Goddard, Kimmel, and Marcus would know that if you captured the commander, someone else, a new alpha would just emerge.
Yeah.
Right away. They would take known. So it's along the lines of, sure, capture that commander, the next one shows up. Capture that one, a cat knocks everything you own down. And then,
it's weird how it works, but every time.
So the trick is to capture 2 commanders. Got it.
So then the kitten would knock everything you own down, which means the walls would come down.
No.
Oh, son of a bitch.
All at once. Every single wall just...
What happens if the gnolls capture our 2 commanders? All the siege weapons would collapse.
What happens if we capture the kitten and throw it outside?
That's why we're disseminating commands down to different groups.
Kimmel, thank you for your sacrifice. You will be missed.
Remember, dagger, 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 dagger.
I would like it known if Kimmel goes down, he does not get my cloak now.
Okay.
I was going to leave that to you.
Leaves it to Amy. Amy has stealth.
Flips table.
So.
Good job, bro.
Is there anything else you can think of in terms of...
Is there a way to call in?
I still feel...
Sorry,
I still
go
feel
ahead.
we need to prepare for them to breach the walls. We have to be like, we can't be surprised that happens. So, I kind of wanted to make it when we sit down and do the traps, and I'll do that. I guess
diverting
straight after this.
resources to militarizing the lower district?
Well, so the way I see it, we're going to move all the people that aren't fighting out of the lower district up into the middle, and the walls between the middle and the lower are our default fallback. Like that's the line we cannot breach, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the upper district can't take all the people because it's not big enough. So if we're going to come into the lower district, we have to be prepared for that.
So what you're saying is they arrive and you evacuate the lower district.
Yes.
Militarize it.
So are you militarizing it before?
I think so.
You're putting barricades up, you are notching archer posts, like, you know, wooden archer posts on roofs, stuff like that.
Yes, I feel that's something the city can take care of because we're going to be busy.
That being said, you are going to divert some of your NPC resources to doing that. That's a lot of work. It's not. I'm not saying it's bad. It's actually smart. It's where the other siege pulled ahead because numbers were dwindled down to how many they could fit across the street.
Yeah. I'm just not comfortable not doing that.
Okay, so
what other siege were there? What do you know the composition of the NPC fighters that we have on our side?
Archers, soldiers, you're gonna have guards. You're gonna have some actual trained military. You'll have town guard. Then you will have drafted militia, which are like NPC stats.
Okay. Do we have any? There's temples here, isn't there?
There is a few. Yes.
Do they have any minor detachments of paladins present?
Oh shit.
Maybe one or two.
Okay. That's what I was curious about.
You'll have a couple paladins. You're not anything major. Not like Penrith was siege before Orcus. Number of paladins. But,
No,
God.
I didn't that many.
But you might have as many as 10. We're gonna roll for it after. The maximum you would have is about 10 paladins who are battle ready, fighting age. You know what I mean? Not be either trainee or like the trainees will hold the temples themselves and stay inside, but your of age, your prime fighting paladins will be up here with you.
Yeah, no, 10 of them. Even a 3 or 4 is a bonus.
That's a decent number.
Remember though, you're only gonna get a fourth of.
Would it be possible to contact Noriara?
Noriara holds no allegiance to the city.
No, but they do have a noble in this city, and if she asks for help, perhaps they will get it.
Or perhaps you were ordered home. It is literally a very real thing you have to understand. If you are, you're a noble, you are not the head of your family. There is a chance, and I'm telling you this out of character story, when this would all be out, it will be based on rolls, that you are commanded home. If not, they'd send a small detachment through the teleportation circle to come take you home.
It's the reason Kimmel hasn't told his family.
Oh God.
Because currently Kimmel is second in line and he will be told to go home.
Because the line of succession's being threatened.
Yeah, it could be worth it. It might not. I'm just telling you. That'll be an in-character decision you'll have to make.
There's a what? Okay. There's a risk they could try to come and retrieve you, but
they will take you. If they've decided and you don't come, they'll come and take you.
By force.
Yeah. And Cortea will not get involved in that, because that could create a political snafu.
Yeah, it could. There's that risk, but if they were understanding and provided reinforcements, it could be worth it.
That'll be something you'll decide after.
That is to you.
It's up to rolls too, isn't it?
Yep.
Always up to the rolls.
Well, to put this in a very real world, she's a noble. They know the siege is getting taken. She doesn't. There is no rules. Her family would just come take her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we look to the rest of the group? What have we missed? There's always something.
Civilian safety.
They'll be in the middle district. They're as safe as we can make them.
They'd be safe from the majority of siege warfare.
Are there fallback points?
Until the outer gate falls. Once that outer gate falls and they roll those siege engines, to hit the secondary walls, your civilians are ticking time bombs. They're ticking time bombs. I mean, there'll be a handful of clerics capable outside of NPC-wise. Yeah, there's guarded right here.
Would we be able to harbor them in the upper district instead?
And the upper district isn't big enough. We will get as many as we can in there, but...
Yeah, I think that they also want to keep the upper district secured, and having a bunch of people from the lower and middle districts just roaming in with weapons and everything else would not be ideal for them.
A very real thing that I will tell all of you is the fallback is if you yourselves can get yourselves over that wall, because when the siege happens, the teleportation circle in the upper district as it is, that door is not opening. If that outer wall falls, second that outer wall falls, that upper district door will not open. The second that middle district gate falls, the regent, the nobles, the VIPs will start being teleported out. You literally, as soon if the middle gate falls, you guys are on ticking time clocks.
We're committed
to get to the teleportation circle, or stay and fight till the end. Either way, that is just how it works, because the mages only have so many castings that they can do. So that is your break point. You guys would be aware. The guard captain would tell you this is their fallback pin, because regents being what regents are.
Yep.
Basically, anyone that's not in the upper district, NPC-wise, like children, women, men, refugees, anyone that's not in the upper district, when the siege starts, if it is a failure, will die at the hands of the gnolls.
So perhaps it would be wise to put the craftsmen in there, because, well, we'll probably need them.
I'm sure the regent and the guard captain will decipher who will be going where. That's not really our concern.
Understood.
That is on the city. What else have we missed?
Are you good with your plans?
Well, perhaps we could have each, unit have access to a map of the area that's been gridded, so we can more easily transmit orders. Like, we can label them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D, E, sort of. And if we need to focus on a particular area, we just know that we could need to attack E4 or A5.
I mean, outside of your sharpshooter, basically, outside of your archers, you're fighting within visual range.
Indeed.
The archers could, in theory, volley somewhere in the backgrounds, but I mean, they're volleying. You're not calling out specific targets.
I see. So
You
the question is,
can
what
put
can we...
200. Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. Go on.
You're putting 200 of those pets down?
She can put quote unquote 60, but I need to. It's going to be less because I have to dig under the ground to each one of them from the start. So pit to pit.
Still a lot of pits.
You see what I wrote down in Roll 20?
Yeah, I'm just reading it. Clerics set up as they did in the High Temple of Shantaea. Gil half nods to you.
Yeah, we were in that fight.
We have a bigger ground to cover. Yes, they'll be within our second lines as we have them, but we're gonna need to spread them out more, would be my concern. We have so few.
Goddard would look around and go, is there anyone who can teach me perhaps a crash course in utilization of heavy armor?
Do you not have the skill?
He does not.
I mean, Perrin could train you, but he's kind of busy digging.
Guadia could.
If Thrud is with him when he helps with the ditches.
Raises a hand.
I mean, he can explain it to you and show you, but
Kimmel could,
you have this.
you're gonna be.
You need to level. You need to level up to take the feat. Like, I mean, it's that kind of thing. Unfortunately.
You want crash course in heavy armor?
Yeah, he doesn't have proficiency in it.
Do you want us to like put you in heavy armor and smack you with a stick? Is that what you're asking?
Goddard has in his possession a rather nice set of dwarven plate.
Damn.
And I only have chainmail.
Mm-hmm.
Put it on.
You don't have proficiency in heavy armor.
Or dwarven mail, I believe it's actually referred to as.
What was that, Aragorn?
Unfortunately, I cannot wear armor.
Sorry, crazy.
That's alright. Goddard needs to level up though in order to wear it.
Yeah, he does.
Just take the feat heavy armor.
Ah.
I need to check what his class is because he's just had one
What
in the
level is
previous.
he?
He's now level 13.
So it's either 14 or
16.
16.
It's 16 for clerics.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm not getting that by Saturday.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, not happening.
So therefore that start you off for parents for today? Or do I need to put more out?
I would like you to have them done as close to being done. Because I need to figure out, like, okay. So
Okay.
Because, just so you know.
How much is dwarven plate? Let's get in the scale of
Are you just preparing the map now?
It's going to make more sense for them to load their heavy armor.
Wait, are you making a tunnel for?
I have to, or otherwise they're gonna see holes.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So, like, just so you understand, that right there is one. That's gonna be one extra casting stick. That would lower you down.
Okay. Well, we don't need that one in there, so if I move that one for a second. Because actually, we don't care if they come through here.
Understand that the reason I want this is because however many I can do, it depends on how many Trents we can awaken, but it's going to need to be funded.
Yeah.
Funded as in?
Either via the city or something else, but we need agates worth 1,000 gold.
Okay. That's what I was trying to get to.
And ask about the amount of gold required.
To 1,000 gold worth for agate. Other than that,
each Trent?
Each Trent, yeah. But each Trent on the day of the battle can create a secondary Trent as an action.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Goddard would look at the collective group and he would literally reach into a bag of holding and plop a gold bag on the table and a smaller bag. and say, I believe there is enough here for 2.
How much does Perrin need? 1,000 gold each?
It depends on what the city has too. So me and Huggles have to set a rule. But Huggles might be able to have Kimmel go to the Regent, getting them to fund it.
Well,
It
Kimmel's
isn't
already
defense of the city.
requested a meeting with the Regent.
Yep.
But
Tomorrow.
because he OP'd going to the council the other day, but he'll go back tomorrow and talk to the Regent.
Chuckles. I could just send home and ask if I could get one, because I'm trying to awaken next, but...
I'll tell you this, your family's not going to give you any money.
Yeah.
No, you don't get to say I'm a noble and then have in money whenever you want it.
Nope.
Not how it works.
Marcus can't even do that. Cries in corner.
I know, right?
Comforts Marcus.
Lol.
Come on, let's go build some things to burn people up. Okay, that sounds good.
I just see Marcus sitting there with a spindle.
Oh God.
Why?
Making all this moss.
This sucks. Why did I ever suggest this?
Why did I become a druid? I would just remind you, Huggles.
I'm kind of getting load out so I can move
right
around.
Here is your main road in and out of the city.
Where's the main road?
Right here. This is the gate. So if you have a 40-foot bit there, it's going to be quite some time before you're able to get supplies in and out of the city. You need to also remember that you need to have road access if you want supplies after the siege.
Fine.
I'm still torn if it's just a better idea to do it all across. I mean, I know you're cut out, but still. Like, I don't know
It
if
would
these
all
like
fall at once.
Yeah.
It would cascade. Like this right here. Once they
It's
step
all
on
going
this
on.
one, it will all cascade down.
Okay.
You need to have gaps in between for them not to cascade.
There wouldn't be a way to like set them all up and like somehow have a trigger, so no, I don't think.
We'll
Like, if you
distribute.
if you use like all like if you put it all along the map like in one
Well,
straight
if
line.
What's the thing? I mean, here's the difference.
set off chain reaction, I could always use
Like, okay, so say you did make this line here, Crazy, right? You completely encompassed it in a 40-foot wide trench, right?
Yes.
You've just lost your fight.
Is that who?
Wait, what? You cut out.
You would have just lost the fight. You have no way to get food in or out of the city. They're outside, and all they're going to do is just catapult your walls until they're rubble. Wait until you're pretty much starved out. Throw down ladders and cross it.
And then they go build. Yep.
That is
Okay.
troubling.
And I would also, in generally speaking, give about 20 feet from the wall to the first ditch, just because you don't want the ground shifting and putting stress on the wall.
This is also true.
I'm trying to work out where we think they're going to bring trebuchets through.
Oh, the trebuchets can be on the map back here and hit.
Fine.
I'm just being honest with you.
No, they will. No, they will. but it's like, where do they have clear sight to the walls? Because like they're not going to be able to fire through the trees.
Yep. They can be 25 feet off the map and hit.
Off the map.
They have 600 feet range.
They can fire over the trees.
Oh yeah, they arc them.
Yeah.
They can be positioned right in here, crazy, right along this, and just fire arc shots into the wall.
It's ballista that have to have direct line. It's trebuchets are basically picture them as like artillery cannons. They'll just fire up and bring it down again.
Yeah, the ballistas would most likely be set up in here.
Yeah.
It's the biggest line of sight. And they're gonna they would target here towards there, the towers, and then they would try and get them so that they're just firing right over the wall, because they're either gonna kill archers or they're gonna hit anyone that's behind that with tree-sized arrows.
Yeah.
And even then, depending on the ballista, right? If they can turn them up, they can just fire them at long range. Crank them. So this is your final placement?
I don't know, because no one's saying anything or helping, so...
I can't see the map, so...
I'm not here on the one shot, and I'm incredibly drunk, but I have planned several sieges.
Oh, it's okay.
So
your characters are all in the bar.
That's cool. What?
Yes, drunk
Never
Josh.
mind.
No, drunk Josh is probably still one of the better planners.
I genuinely...
That's true.
I got into the cab, and the cab driver looked at me, and he was like, "Is that an open bottle of whiskey?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I haven't had that much." And he was like, "Half of it's missing." And I was like, I may have had too much to drink. This is entirely possible. Cool, right, siege planning, cool. So we've got the wall to the south, the reinforced towers, I presume, with the, what looks like slanted roofs. That will be watchtowers of some sort. Do they have fortifications? I presume they're either side of some sort of gate fortification that we are trying to hold. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, these holes in the floor, what are they?
They are pit traps.
They're called Perrin pits.
Okay, cool. And we've got one spike barricade from what I can see.
Yes. We will have more, we just haven't made them.
Okay, weak point would be attacking the gate. That's gonna struggle to, unless they're using magic users. What are we facing? Gnolls?
Yeah.
Yes,
no.
Do we have an idea of their numbers?
Many.
A metric fuck ton.
Okay, cool. Metric fuck ton. No, we can deal with a metric fuck ton. What kind of weapons and fortifications do we have to spare and place in?
All right, we got the
Such.
seizure. Siege. I didn't say seizure. I don't know what you're talking about.
We all know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna bring a little cat cam back to Dad's channel. I'm at my channel now. I'm taking it over.
Gosh.
Kitty cam. We got a kitty cam. Kitty.
I'm really sad.
Right.
I'm DMing you now. Means everyone but Firefly, Starry, and those people are gonna die.
Points at Josh.
Yeah.
Oh no! Because if I'm here, you guys are doomed because she'll gang up on me because she hates me.
No, you're doomed.
Yeah,
we can use you as bait. We can use you as bait.
I said
That's
proper hello to Josh. Dad, am I okay?
You did indeed. Bree, I'm planning on attacking this city. You need to defend this city against me. So what kind of powers are you going to give these people?
Giant cats with laser eyes.
There you go, guys. Sorted. You are absolute 100% bulletproof. How to play the DM.
Not only that, they're not only getting giant cats with laser eyes. They are getting.
Oh wait, there's more.
They are getting piranha sharks.
Piranha shark?
Water sharks.
Piranha sharks with laser beams and
Sharknadoes?
bulletproof vests that can fly.
We don't
Wait,
use bullets.
the vests can fly, or they can fly and they have vests?
The sharks can
The
fly
sharks
and they
can
have
fly.
bulletproof vests.
Can they breathe out of the water?
Yes.
Okay, good.
This is important.
And,
Okay, cool.
And by the way, everything is controlled by Firefly and Starry.
Everything is controlled by Starry. Okay, cool.
So everything they say goes.
So you're saying we're doomed?
As long as as long as you're not against them, you're not doomed.
Dude, I can freaking practice and play a whole shit ton of Fire Emblem.
Yeah, I'm up for this.
My tactics.
The kid.
Okay.
So,
Right, why doesn't Firefly have control?
I said Firefly.
Ah, good.
I said Firefly and Starry. Kitten Cam is being there forever. Kitten streaming.
Well, what if they give opposing orders?
Then you all die.
Fight till the death.
Hear what I gave them?
Okay, guys.
The mini said has
Alright.
Yeah, Sev, I just saved the city. Because I said I was attacking the city, and therefore Bree gave them all the fortifications in the entire world. So they're golden. They don't need to worry. Right, so are these pitfalls movable? Because the biggest thing we need to do is control their numbers. Okay, cool, right, so biggest thing we need to do is control their numbers. If they mob us by force, they have potential to do stuff like basically climb over the piles of their dead to mount the walls. They can land siege towers and stuff like that. You want to use their numbers against them, so create a funneling device and create just a killing zone. You want to mount something heavy duty up on both watchtowers that can fire down into the mass. My recommendation would be bombers or manacles or something.
You won't have, depending on what you're doing, you won't have time to create too many big siege engines.
Okay, in which case,
just
that's fine. Get casters with area effect spells, funnel them in as they make their way forward. Anything that hits and fans forward will absolutely decimate their numbers. Make sure you have stuff like tar pitch and alchemist fire. Anything you can lay your hands on that will burn good. Set up kill pits in that area. Anything to slow them down and make them basically like, because they're gnolls, they're not particularly smart. So you want all of these in a big ass fucking funnel that will just absolutely destroy their numbers.
Fireball.
We could have them break the door. Having them break the door is fine.
Yeah, no, if they break the door, that doesn't matter so much, because then they're still fighting through a confined corridor. As long as we maintain that they do not push past the gate, we have them cut off, essentially. They can't use their superior numbers against us. No. I can push the pits forward. I'm drunk, so leave me alone. But yeah. So
alright, I'll reposition them slightly so we've got a little bit of space from the wall.
You have, depending, Josh, maximum of 60 pits that can be dug.
Okay.
But we have to link them. Remember, we have to link them as well.
Yeah, that's a maximum.
Okay, cool. So we can. Okay, so I would say.
And that's just Perrin casting his move Earth for his top 4 spells for 8 hours.
Okay, so I would say.
Druids, man.
5 pits on each side, and then focus the other ones around to basically surround other walls and different areas to reinforce to make sure you don't get flanked. But do anything you can to cut off their reinforcements and make sure their only point of ingress is that gate, and absolutely screw them at their gate. Hit them with as many area effect spells as you can, any alchemist fire, anything that will slow them down. You also want to, and laser cats. If you have ways, there would be another tactic, but it would require some really fucking ballsy individuals. Dig outlying trenches as have basically a vanguard of really hard as nails fighters to just on the edge of your maximum range of fire. And this is the sort of thing where you would need to pre-zero for artillery. So you like, if you have anything like catapults and stuff, figure out what your max range is and dig your trench line about 100 foot closer to the wall than that, and dig a trench not like a pitfall, but have individuals who are willing to go like vanguard. They bunker in, cover themselves in dirt, go full Rambo, and they burst out and hit their ranks as they're closing in, cause a massive amount of damage, and then fall back. And as they fall back, cover them with artillery. And as they fall back to the gates and are pursued, they get hit by pitfalls, area of effect spells, yada yada yada. Those guys might potentially just all die. So I would tell you now, but it's a great way to really there's nothing. There is nothing like watching an entire enemy force rush forward and then suddenly realize that they have guys jumping out with halberds right in their faces, and watches this large force rushes forward and can't stop because everyone behind them is also trying to push forward, and they get stabbed and impaled, and then they get chain lightninged and all manner of horrible things.
We do have two barbarians.
Firefly, are you writing all this down?
Firefly's in class.
This is why we've been recording it, so we've got it.
With regards to the forests, how attached to them are you? I know you've got druids and stuff on call.
Well, we're going to create ents within the forest, so maybe a little.
Okay, my point.
Yeah, otherwise I would have said burn it to the ground, but and I'd take flak from the druids for it.
No, you want logs. Because if you can cut down a shit ton of logs, you basically make an obstacle course. You use their numbers against them, lay them flat, and just have a ton of them. I don't know how good gnolls are moving over difficult terrain, but if you lay a load of logs down sideways, so they're basically having to vault over them, have them run hurdles as they try and advance on an enemy force whilst taking halberds, and yeah, it'll fuck them. Rogue, I've been drinking Jack Daniels. I'm nearly half a litre in. It's been a good night. It was about a quarter of a litre in when someone turned around and went, "You know there's food coming," and I was like, "No, I was not aware of this. I really wish I was." And yeah, other than that, if you could create a heart shape, that would be quite nice. Simply with the spike pits, not spike pits. You see these spike barricades. So the point would be, if you put a couple of these, I'm gonna fuck around, Sev. I apologize.
Good. Like I said, you guys do what you do, and then I will tell you if you have the resources to.
So if you try and curve round, so they have a corridor that they push through, they'll probably overrun a spike barricade or two. But if they push through into this area, they're contained in this central area, and you give them a corridor. So say the corridor is as so. Hold on. Come here, freehand. So say they have this corridor here to move in forward, and then this area here is sort of their area where they mass and march forward. They pour in en masse through here, and if they start to retreat, they're going to be pushed back and have a very narrow space to try and retreat back from, because they will have spike barricades and stuff to contend with, and that just bottles them up. And the more bottled they are up, the more devastating artillery is, the more area of effect spells can do damage. I presume, Sev, we're just planning this defense of this. This is the whole thing. We don't need to worry about the other walls. The
other walls are going to be carbon copies.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Other than that, guys, I would distribute the pit traps as much as you can, as sporadically as you can, but make sure you keep them a certain distance from the walls. And I would genuinely pre-designate areas as kill zones and target artillery on those areas, because the more you hit them with artillery, like trebuchets, manacles, ongers, whatever, the more churned up the earth will get, the harder it is to move a large body of forces. Every single individual that's marching through there is going to churn the mud up. Back in medieval times, you genuinely had men in plate mail armor who drowned because they would be just knocked to the floor and trampled to death by the oncoming forces as they all ran forward, or they would literally fall down in 4 inches of water, but they're in plate mail, they're exhausted from marching through all the mud, and they would drown in 4 inches of water. It's horrible. So you churn that mud up, you churn it up good, it will completely screw with their ability to muster forces and move in formation, and you've also got it pre-loaded for artillery, so when you need to bring the pain, you bring the pain hardcore. I may or may not have planned quite a lot of sieges.
I wish we had
Indeed.
I wish we had Garrett.
You realise Garrett is in the city. Garrett will straight up be part of this.
He is?
Maybe. No spoilers.
Please.
No spoilers.
Freaking love Garrett as a character.
I am far too drunk to be Garrett at the moment, unfortunately. But
what's even better is I already had my plan, so I'm just watching him like, huh. Let's Let's see. Does the null commander or does Garrett's plan work? One day, Josh, we're gonna play like D&D Risk. Me and you.
Oh, mate.
Large scale.
I've honestly though, I've never played
Armies.
Risk because I've never found anyone who's willing to play me, and I take that as an insult because I'm like, I've never played. You can't just assume I will be horrible. But yeah.
But we're gonna play D&D Risk, like all large scale battle rules.
Oh yeah.
It's like Total War.
I've played a lot of sort of Age of Empires. Like my favorite. Me and my mate played, and he plays really aggressively, and we were playing on islands, and he just like immediately went after the enemy. It was 2v2, and we were playing against brutal enemies, and he just straight off, like, first thing he did was launch a Vanguard assault, absolutely tore through one enemy, and then was just under siege from the other one. And after about 20 minutes of playing, he's like, "Dude, where the fuck are you?" And I was like, "Do you have a market yet?" Like, yeah. I was like, "Do you have the ability to look at all of my terrain?" He's like, "No." I was like, "Download it, like literally unlock it, it's free." Clicks on it, he's like, "You have a really small map." I was like, "Yeah, look over it, just fortress of walls and like trebuchets all inside the walls, all loaded to fire at pre-designated areas." I'm like, Now basically here's what's going to happen. I'm going to bankroll you, and you are going to just go haram against them, and I will just keep plowing gold and wood and stone into your empire because I am loaded and I am not giving up my resources for love nor money. Meanwhile, I'm building nothing but elite troops, and I'm going on a flanking mission, and I paid off one of the other enemies to turn on their friend, and then just was like, "Seeing as we're allies now, you don't mind if I deposit this huge army of highly trained mercenaries in your base to you for reinforcing them?" And they're like, "No, of course not. We're allies. You wouldn't screw me over." And then, like, after the first enemy dies, I'm like, "Cool, change to enemy, turn all enemies to all units to aggressive. Goodbye," as petards just charge gunpowder loaded arms into them and just blow them all up. I'm like, "Screw you."
I really want Garrett to be in I mean, not Pennis, Cortea.
He might be around.
I
You can never
really
really
hope
kill
so.
Garrett.
He's amazing. That man is amazing.
And now we're off topic.
Anyway, yeah, so so far as like I have no real idea of what's going on, so that would just be my recommendation. Fang, let me just, I've fought Knowles before, and I know certain people I've played have, so I'm just going to look them up if that's okay, just to see what I'm up against.
I really don't want spellcasters. Spellcasters are mean.
Spellcasters can be combated simply by keeping them at range and like, what's that? You're a spellcaster? But you've got great AC, haven't you?
I have the worst AC, 16 at maximum.
I'm not pished, but I do admire your Red Dwarf quote, if indeed that was what you would add for Ross.
Nods.
I love you. Is he doing what I think he's doing? And what's that? Playing pool with planets. He's not playing pool with planets. That's an atomic warhead. You know what he's done there? He's tipped it. That is straight off the table and into someone's pint of lager. It's a planet!
Oh, I remember that.
I love this. Can we just have junk chests all the time?
If you pay for the alcohol and my living expenditure, yeah.
You just offered to full-time him to be an alcoholic. I'm pretty sure he's in.
Also, you're a terrible, terrible individual. But yes.
Who, me? Him? Who?
Exactly.
Okay, so the biggest thing, biggest thing about Knowles is making sure they don't get into combat, because a horde of them will absolutely decimate us as long as they get into combat. So keep them at range and just make them suffer.
Damn.
Yeah, seriously though.
Keep them a distance, funnel them, burn them, beat them up. Don't let them get close, shoot them, burn them, explode them.
And if you have a decent cleric on hand, I'm telling you right now, it would be hilarious. Push Earthquake out quite a distance and put it in that kill zone and watch as they all collapse onto the floor, desperately crawling over each other, and then hit them with artillery.
We got Goddard.
We do have a Goddard.
I'm the highest level cleric.
Mm-hmm.
But we have Perrin, who has Earthquake. Yes, I don't.
How wide is that gate, Sev?
It's 30 feet or something.
It's a... yeah.
How many druids do you have?
Depending on the level, what are you asking?
Can you stand druids from one side of the gate to the other with anti-life shell and just laugh as the forces of the Knoll just push, basically hit the threshold, realize they can't advance any further, try to stop, get splattered against the anti-life shield, and then all of the other ones on the side start falling into the pit traps as artillery hits them in the center, and they try and move from the center, pushing their fellows
The only
in.
problem is
Because that's the
stay
wonderful
behind
thing.
The door.
Yeah, this is true.
Because otherwise, they just shoot the druid with arrows.
Yeah, this is true.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you do something like that, and because the other thing you have to remember is if you hit in the dead center, gnolls aren't that smart. They're about as smart as, you know, your average commoner. Some of them are a lot less smart than that. I think like they average around 8 intelligence. Which means if you fire into the dead center, survival instinct kicks in. I don't want to get hit by giant artillery that's just killed 100 of my brethren or whatever. So they push out to the sides. The people on the edges then fall to their deaths in pit traps. And yeah, that's one way. And you split their ranks and just sow chaos.
Josh, we love you. You know that, right?
So
is this your final?
I don't take anything I say as final.
No. I gotta make sure they can do them all.
Yeah, that's kind of what because I don't know.
From that, the trenches. If Perrin can do that, you need Ents who will need to remain. The big thing is have the Ents remain stationary, and just make sure that if any of the forces try and get round, they butcher them in the forest and make them reconsider, because that's more funneling, and then wait for them to push through into that area. And if the Ents then close the gap, they are screwed. And also Ents can throw boulders and stuff like that, which would just decimate ranks. But as far as the Ents, I don't know how they go about creating Ents and stuff. I know you can have the Awakening spell and all that.
That's what it is.
But you have... All we're really asking is artillery casters, spike traps, and... I think other than that, there's not much in the way of actual resources. Most of it is spells that can be done by druids, because druids are amazing at sieges.
Yes, they are. Sev, quick question. This down here, she says, trying to ping it. And it not wanting to ping. I'm going to measure around it.
What do you... whereabouts?
Yeah.
The hiding place.
That's the hiding place.
Correct.
Okay. And all of this tree would be tree areas considered difficult terrain. Right.
Generally, yeah.
And it all counts as light foliage.
Yep.
So Kimmel can hide in it.
As can the gnolls.
Oh, good.
Seriously, you want to work on your flanks. That's where I put most of the spike traps. One big funnel. Because if any of them start getting around to the walls, you lose your containment. Containment is key here, especially with a force like that. Because, I mean, 1 or 2 isn't too bad, but if they get 10, 20 of them, and they manage to find a way to breach the walls in any way, those fuckers will come over and they will start butchering people, and they just get more and more angry and more aggressive. Once they get a steam behind them, they are very nasty. As people found out the other day.
So wait, did I get a reply to the question about piano wire? If we have it invented yet?
Piano wire? I don't need piano wire. No.
That's a Sev question.
I
No
believe
garrote wire exists.
Pianos exist in D&D, do they not?
They had they had also, and even if not, they had a predecessor.
Yeah. Piano wire won't actually do amazingly well against large forces, though, because especially against something like gnolls, because gnolls will just trample their dead. That only works with like catching forces. It would work in the trees, but you couldn't do it on a mass battlefield because we're talking about several thousand gnolls pushing through it. It would make so little difference. It wouldn't even be worth like the time and effort it would take to conceal it and all that. I like your thinking, though.
Let alone if you guys ever push out.
Yeah.
Trying to remember where every piece of piano wire is.
Yeah. You've got to remember everything, like stuff like I've done so far. You've got giant fucking pit traps, and you've got big spikes, and you've got ents. Those are the primary things. So far as reclaiming your land after that, you don't have to then spend the next 30 years scanning the ground for IEDs and mines and shit. This is, you know, thinking about preserving the land as well. Cortea needs to be able to continue to do trade and stuff after this.
We forget about one of the pit traps that Perrin laid. A few days later, hey, what's going on over here? Oh, God!
Maybe the city.
I have many a horrific tale of many a horrific siege, but I'm not going to share any of them right now because Sev is here.
You should give them all because I've already set the plan up. That's why we're doing this. Their battle plan is finalized.
Okay, you promise me that you will not take it. I mean, it would be incredibly difficult for you to implement this, but you promise me that you won't do it.
If anything
for
was
now, at least.
If anything was something I was already going to use, I'll DM you.
Okay, cool. So I very much doubt it because I would have heard of it. Basically, we had a Song of Ice and Fire campaign, and we had a city that we had to hold out against siege, and we had an occupying force from our actual hometown, who we came back to our hometown and found that the people had been enslaved by a band of Iron Raiders, and when the forces emerged at White Harbour, they emerged well out of artillery range on the crest of the hill. And we saw them, and the ranks split, and a column emerged, and we figured it was probably a vanguard, some heavy infantry, shock troopers, something like that. And then scouts reported, we had a warg who reported that they were not armed, and he sent 4,000 civilians from our hometown running to our walls, being shot at from behind to make them run, and they triggered every trap, every spike pit, everything that we had laid in place to decimate this larger force. They used the captives that we were trying to rescue to snuff out all the traps, and then just avoided all of them. And out of 4,000 citizens of our homeland, 2 survived. And that was because we burnt destiny points to save them because we massively invested in these NPCs. But it was, yeah, it was horrific.
That's a pretty smart idea on their part.
Yep. It's the kind of horrible shit that if you see happen, it's bad. And to counter it, there's not a lot you can do other than try and hit them with artillery immediately to break up their ranks so they don't get all of them. But yeah, piano wire was invented. Oh yeah. Where is?
Oh.
No, never mind.
That's
Where's
about.
Huh?
Huggles, that's about what he can do.
Cool.
With all the tunnels. Are you setting them for siege or are you setting them for enemy?
Are you putting more spike traps along here? Or not spike
I'm sorry, are
traps,
we setting
barricade.
them for...
Siege equipment or are you setting them for enemies? To collapse under the siege or collapse under enemies?
Well, if you're saying the siege equipment doesn't have to come more than 60 feet, then...
The siege equipment doesn't have to make it on the map. Trebuchets?
Yeah.
Trebuchets are good for like a mile. They're ridiculous.
D&D
Yeah.
That Kim would know, so I don't know if we would bother. Like, the ones at the front probably need to be set for gnolls rather than for siege equipment, because we need those to fill whatever.
Do we have any warlocks?
The ones more to the back, so she says trying to...
Well,
I really can't ping these.
The point is, once the pit traps are triggered, I mean, they can't... How deep are these pit traps?
40 feet.
Yeah, so it's going to take a while for them to fill. So, do you have like a rough estimate of how many troops they're sending?
We also are going to light them on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of fire too.
Okay. So
Perrin maybe
amazing.
Maybe stone, as he moves Earth, shaping alchemist fire into the false bottoms because he's actually just hollowing out the Earth below. And they might be making like straw to fill in the bottom of each of these and just ignite them.
Perrin, Goddard, and Marcus might be really good friends by the time this happens.
I have to say, Perrin is a dragon sitting right on top of the gate, breathing breath weapon down into the midst of that oncoming onslaught would be just
Perrin has
decimating.
Perrin has his own flank because I have to run all the gnolls.
Fair enough. In which case, yeah, I mean, you guys, that's a pretty sound plan. I would say, yeah, watch out for, them. If you see, for example, if you see them start to break through, you need archers on the flanks to cut off, and potentially even reinforcements. It might be worth sending a few forces on either flank just to cut off any advancing, because I mean they're gonna realize a bit. I mean, sooner or later they will realize that a frontal assault on the gate is going to get them killed if they don't distract you. So they will try and push through the woods. You will have Ents, obviously, but you are going to need more than Ents. You're going to need manpower. You're going to need ambushes. You're going to need to fight smart because they will have the numbers on you most likely, and they will run you down. So
they have the numbers and the range.
Yes. So catch them in ambushes, and then once they come through, I would recommend. I think wood elves fighting gnolls. I don't know how good gnolls are at fighting in woodland areas. I remember them being woodland creatures.
They are.
Okay.
They are.
That could turn nasty, but I mean a counter charge. Just as they're emerging from it after being decimated by treants, a counter charge from wood elves just on the periphery of the forest, pushing inwards, would hurt.
I do have Spell Sniper and Eldritch Blast.
And if need be, just set the whole forest on fire and apologise to Perrin post haste.
I think he would understand.
Druids don't
Never
tend to
say that.
torch their house.
You can explain it to him.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I straight up had to start. Like Garrett had to break up a fight that was going to be 2-player characters trying to kill 4-player characters because of forest fire, and they would have done it successfully because they were tough druids. You don't want to piss off druids. Trust me, it's a bad call.
I was there.
Unless you're a gnomon.
Yeah, I would place Noman somewhere around the flank and just have him come through, and I would genuinely recommend him come in and just charge directly from the north, come straight through to the south, and and then someone like scoop him up with a rope from the gate, so you don't have to open the gate, so you can just tear a whole line through them.
Yeah.
So.
And then we have 2 other barbarians in addition to Noman.
Barbarian Squad. It's the new Suicide Squad.
I mean, Dom is there somewhere, and Dom would absolutely be up for jumping in Noman's carriage and just going ham. I forgot. I don't know, Sev. I don't think you heard, but Dom has retractable arm blades, which are genuinely just the size of his forearm, big, chunky blades that Wentworth gave to him, and they just shoot out of his straitjacket sleeves, and they're sort of serrated and horrible. So he has spiked things. They're not like
they're the
they're not
tunnels
like
because Perrin needs to dig, starting at one point, so they're all completely hidden. They will be natural 20 checks because nothing is done to the top soil. They won't be able to see the traps.
I would have them set off when Noel's not artillery, because if they sneak up on you, if they do anything to break containment, have it when their forces, because then the worst comes to worst, like they start overflowing, which means you killed a shit ton of them. And then you just have to plug the gaps as best you can. But trying to coordinate that with artillery could lead to all sorts of... You could lose entire battalions, could slip by, and you would not know, and you would not be able to do a damn thing. Have them weight sensitive to foot troops. And
so
if at first only like 30 fall in, at least they then turn around and go, "Oh my god, there's a 70-foot hole in the floor that's on fire and covered in spikes and is burning all our brethren. Let's not continue that way." Hopefully you'll be okay. But yeah.
If they're not smart, they're gonna keep going.
Druids
They're not gonna go. No creature's dumb enough to run into the hole. It's already there. Intentionally.
How far could a druid summon a elephant or something?
60 feet.
Oh gosh.
An elephant would be murdered instantly.
Oh, good point.
I'll give you an example of what you guys are up against. You've seen I know we don't like to speak of it because there were only a certain amount of Indiana Jones films, and this was like a knockoff that was done, and we don't really talk about the knockoff. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. You know the ants?
Yeah.
You remember when they swarmed that one Russian dude?
Yeah.
That is what you're up against. 1 or 2 gnolls, you will go through like paper mache. But if they have these numbers on you, the fight won't even... You don't have enough men. You don't have enough attacks. You don't have enough area of effect spells. Because some of them will hit you, and they will eventually just weed you down. They are maggots. It doesn't matter how many you kill, enough of them will still strip flesh from bone.
So they do not belong on the face of this earth? Okay, understood.
Pretty much.
So the point of this with the siege, then, I'm finally off work and talk with you guys. What are the red lines? Are those really tunnels?
Those are tunnels.
Yeah.
Because Perrin needs to dig it from one to the next.
Yeah.
Got it.
Perrin actually has to move around under there.
Yeah. Oh, and then they have to fill it with peat moss.
Oh, Mercy isn't in Cortea. Can we...
The strategies that I have are
We could kidnap him.
Can we kidnap Mercy?
It would take too long.
Mercy, no, it wouldn't. I could literally have him here in 30 seconds. But can Mercy just arrive and just be like, "Perrin, let me show you about digging," and just dig?
I love digging holes.
Diggy diggy hole.
Well, he now has a burrow speed.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. He now has a burrow speed of 10 feet per turn, which means, yeah, he can dig graves at 10 feet per turn, which is terrifying.
That's amazing.
No.
Grave digger.
Right. Ross, I don't know what you said earlier, and I'm hoping. Let me know.
I have my Xbox on, and I'm downloading something, so...
Sweet.
So, are we doing this? Alright. So, this is the map. Right. I'm going to leave this up for a bit for you guys to mess around with. And there's a drunk Josh. So, I'm going to go go watch him fail spectacularly at Wildlands with Ross for a little bit.
Oh no.
Because this
Yeah,
is
I
freaking
gotta do
hilarious.
this.
I might want to watch that too.
I warn you now.
Please tell me you'll stream it.
It will go. It
Yes.
will only go
stream it.
one of two ways. I will either be the worst, most hampering
Extreme mode, by the
person
way?
you've. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Or I
New
will
character?
literally turn
Yeah.
into the one-shot machine.
Okay. So we'll be back with Wildlands shortly. This is gonna be fucking hilarious.
Watch
Bye,
not
Twitch.
Bye,
Bye, Twitch.
Bye, Twitch.